Hi, welcome back to video 6 in the series. In the last couple of videos we've looked at screen sharing options and the use of the whiteboard. But in practical terms, what does this mean for you as a teacher? What are some activities that you can do using these features of Zoom? Well, I'm going to talk you through a few ideas just to get you started. I'm not going to actually do them with you just because it would take too long. But once you've got a kind of handle on the type of ideas you can do, practice these maybe with the help of a friend, and then it won't be long before you're coming up with ideas for how to adapt classroom activities yourself, maybe new ideas that will come to you through using the virtual whiteboard as well. So once you're confident, I'm sure there'll be loads of things that you can do. But here are a few things to get you started. Let's start with sharing a short video. Why not watch and listen to a video with your student, and then when it's finished, use the opportunity to ask some WH questions. So, for example, if it were a cafe scene, what colour was the writing on the cafe sign? Where did the girl put her coat? What did the boy take out of his bag? Who were they waiting for? How much was the bill? Why did the man refuse to pay? All those kinds of things. Um, you can also do things like pausing a video and asking what they think is going to happen next, or what they think will happen next. So this is a great way of practicing the will and going to future forms. And for more advanced students, you might also look at adverbials and modals to do with concepts of possibility and probability. So I think that maybe she's going to do this, or I think he's definitely going to do that. You could also pause the video and ask your student what has just happened, so you can use it to practice the present perfect. Videos are great for practicing anything related to time and tense. Let's move on to images. Why not find an image that has topic vocabulary that you're wanting to practice with your student? Name some items or objects in the image, and then have the student circle them as you name them using their annotation tool. And then you can use the stamp tool with the tick or the cross to indicate whether they are right or whether they are wrong. Another thing that you could do is show an image of a number of objects, allow the student to study the image for a minute, stop your screen sharing, and then either verbally or writing them down, get them to remember as many objects as they can. Images are also a great starting point for discussions, everything from comparing and contrasting to the kinds of questions that students are likely to get asked if they have an oral exam with a picture element in it. So that can be anything from simply describing a picture to more conjectural questions such as, who do you think these people are? What do you think they're feeling at the moment? So lots of things you can do with images. Let's have a think about text. Well, sharing a text at its most basic, you could share a text and simply ask some comprehension questions about it. If you've got literature students, you might want to share a short paragraph or a poem, and then maybe discuss it and annotate it jointly with your students. Then you can save it and send them a copy. You can also use text to do some learner training. So, for example, to help them with some comprehension strategies. So you could do things like getting them to look for contextual clues, breaking words down into segments, looking for affixes, or getting them to circle words of a particular sort of class to help them try and guess what the meaning might be. With texts, you can also do things like provide students with a text that has deliberate errors on it and get them to identify and underline the errors. You could get them, as we said before in the learner training, to circle particular types of words. So that could be word class, but it could also be specific types of word, like question words, for example, or discourse markers, or other kinds of word sequences. Whatever it is that you are doing your or focusing your teaching around at that time. Finally, you can use shared text for listening training as well. So if you pull up a text and you read through it, you can get your students to underline sentence stress or to mark weak verb forms. So lots that you can do there. When it comes to whiteboards, as I said before, there's so much that you can do with whiteboards that you would do ordinarily in the classroom. For example, what about doing some collaborative drawing? You basically ask the student to draw something and then get the student to ask you to add something to the image. And if you choose an appropriate image, you can use it to revise specific topic vocabulary. So, for example, you could collaboratively draw a monster to practice body parts, or a house plan to practice room names and furniture, or a window display of a fruit and vegetable shop in order to revise those vocabulary items. Or you can get your student to do a map of their town and label the names of the shops and the public buildings and street objects, traffic features, things like that. So there's loads you can do with the whiteboard. You can also use it as you can use the text tool for creative dictations. You can, as we discussed previously, use the shape and the arrow tools to create mind maps, etc., etc. Lots of possibilities here, and those are just a few to get you started. So good luck with that. Be as creative as you can, and I'll see you in the next session, where we're going to very briefly look at the chat feature that comes with Zoom. We'll see you then.